Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse. In today's segment, I want to discuss with you the bump stock ban. I also want to cover what we've learned, continuing on my previous video of 2018, the year in review, and give you a few predictions as to what I expect from 2019. So the first thing is this week, under a Republican-controlled House and Senate, the Trump administration, with the blessing of the NRA, pushed through the bump stock ban. And the NRA, of course, did sound some disappointment in that there were no grandfathering clauses for people who previously unlawfully had possessed these wicked, wicked bump stocks. Consider the fact, though, that bump stocks had only been used in one official crime committed that's, of course, Las Vegas. And the ATF's report is not only weird in the sense that all of their information stopped, but also it's clearly and patently farcical, their official narrative of the events. So I don't really have any confidence whatsoever that their official weapons list contains indeed the full weapons that were recovered from the scene. But the point here that I think we should take home is that, number one, President Trump promised to be a defender of the Second Amendment, and then clearly that hasn't happened. Despite zero pressure from the public, bump stocks were banned with the blessing and the encouragement of the NRA. So let's take a moment here and just recap for a moment here. In 2018, the NRA, with a Republican president, a Republican House, and a Republican Senate, advocated and essentially conspired with a non-constitutional organization known as the ATF to further infringe on your Second Amendment rights. Folks, if you are under any delusions at this point that the NRA is somehow like working together with like Trump to get us a national concealed carry reciprocity, like you need to clear yourself into reality. I don't buy the whole like, hey, it's 3D chess thing. No way, absolutely not. Furthermore, the NRA has pretty much proved since steadily 1994 and sometimes before then, that they exist to perpetuate themselves and their cocktail hour at the Beltway, not to advocate and to support the rights that we are guaranteed in our Constitution under the Second Amendment. The one organization that's actually doing something about this right now is Gun Owners of America, and I recommend that you support them instead. I am a how shall we say this, disgruntled lifetime member of the NRA. I don't know how I undo the fact that I gave them all that money to secure my spot as a lifetime member, but I'll put it this way. I am so over their nonsense that I don't want anything to do with them. Like when they call me and ask for money, I kindly tell them to go find better uses for their time and to quit stealing money from the American public who they're duping steadily into believing that they're somehow advocating for their rights, when clearly they're doing the exact opposite. And when they do that, we get exactly what we saw this week, which is the bump stock ban. So no, I'm not thrilled about it. And like for all the FUDs out there who are like, oh, the bump stock's not such a big deal. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me and my safe queens that I have stocked up. Whatever. Like these people who are sitting there defending the NRA, they're never going to do the hard things that it takes to be disciplined about training. They're not going to do the things that it would take to defend our liberty again. I got news for you guys. The Patriots during the American Revolution did not require on some Beltway cocktail buddies to support and defend their rights. They did it themselves. Just a note on the bump stock and a little bit of my feelings on that. Not thrilled about it. Not thrilled about it at all. When you have a president and a Republican-controlled House and Senate under zero pressure from the American public, past gun control, is there any doubt at this point that the political process is broken? So what have we learned from 2018? The political process is clearly broken because if you keep putting people in office who are going to continue lying to you and who are going to continue whittling your rights away with zero pressure, like it's just a lie. It's a big lie. So, and people would say, of course, that this has been the case for a while. Yeah, maybe. But the other thing that we have learned in 2018 is that violence works, essentially. The Democrats got themselves elected with their tactics of resist, and for all of the crying and wailing of Antifa is the one that's really acting like the fascists. The funny thing here is they cry Nazi left, right, and center, but I'll put a link in the description box below for you guys so that you can see a really good documentary on the rise of the Nazi Party. Because when it comes right down to it, these Antifa folks are acting just like the Nazis did. For all their cries of fascist, left, right, and center, National Socialist is what Nazis mean. And oh, by the way, despite what people would like to think, the Nazis and the Ruskies, the Soviets, were pretty good pals in the fact that they jointly agreed to invade Poland together. So, like, it's one end of the equation. It's one side of the coin. Like, fascist and socialist, it is what it is, okay? So when you have Violent, rabid Marxists who have taken over one of the political parties in the country, for sure, you could argue, and who have gotten themselves elected. This is what I expect in the next year to come. I expect that the establishment is going to, in their best attempts, try and crash the economy. The only reason why the economy didn't have a major correction under Barack Hussein Obama was really the Federal Reserve was complicit in keeping interest rates low. Had they done their interest hikes in the way that they have for the current administration, we would have had a major correction back then. But they kept their interest rates low. They kept the QE forever going so that people could feel that their lives and their way of living was going to be perpetuated, despite having horrible rates of unemployment, increased rates of government spending, etc., further debt for the American citizen. When it comes right down to it, folks, I expect that this next year there's going to be tremendous amount of pressure on the economy. We're already seeing the stock market do its thing, which of course it's manipulated. I mean, pretty much everybody's aware of that at this point. But I do expect that because the Democrats are in office, the powers that be and the establishment is going to do the best that they possibly can to get the American public panicked, to get them to believe the lies of socialism, that the market is not the best, the free market, the unmanipulated market, I would add, is not the best natural distributor of wealth, but instead the government is. And, when they do this, of course, they're going to get their cronies their slice of the pie as well. But the Democrats typically do better in rough economic times. I mean, look at the generation that elected FDR to multiple terms. They were told, just give us this more power, just give us this more power. Don't change horses in the middle of the race, right? Just keep continuing to give away your rights. Keep continuing to vote away the rights and also the purse of your fellow citizens. I mean, when we're getting to the point that half the American, roughly, populace is not paying taxes, and yet they're receiving the social programs that come as a result of taxation from people who actually do work and do contribute, there's a problem here. Like, we're getting to the trade-off here where the population's figuring out that they can just vote money out of other people's wallets. So that's what I expect. 2018 showed us that you can't trust what people say. They're going to continue to come after your rights. They're going to continue. The Democrat Party is for sure the party of the new Nazi and socialist. They are going to continue to use violent tactics to achieve their ends, and I expect them to do everything they can to further solidify their power in 2019 and attempt to crash the economy. That's what I have for you guys. Don't stop preparing, for sure. Make sure you're continuing to put your supplies away and continuing to learn. I got my classes up for 2019, folks, so check out the schedule at the website. Put a link to that documentary below. Hope it was helpful for y'all. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see you later. Bye.